everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing my March and April wrap-up. So you may or may not have noticed, but in March I actually didn't do a wrap-up, and that was because I read hardly anything. I read only 4 books, and I didn't really have a lot to say about many of them, because 2 of them were classics, and then 2 of them were just, one of them was a reread, and the other one was a book that I absolutely hated. So I didn't really have a ton to say, so I figured I would just wait and combine my March and April wrap-ups, so that's what I'm doing right now. April, on the other hand, was a completely different story. I actually ended up reading a lot in April. It's probably the biggest reading month that I've had in a really long time, which is kind of surprising because I had finals in April, but I didn't have too bad of a finals week, so I had tons of reading time, and I ended up reading a total of 9 books, which I'm super happy about, and I'm hoping I can kind of keep it up. The past week I haven't been reading a lot because my sister was home, so that kind of took up a lot of my time, but I'm hoping to get back into reading. I did download Sims 3 again, and now that has been like consuming my life, so I need to like limit my Sims time so I'm not just playing Sims all the time, but it's so addicting. But anyways, I'm just going to get into the wrap-up. The first book that I read in March was The Winter's Tale by William Shakespeare. I had to read this for my Shakespeare class, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was really interesting because it's kind of the tragicomedy, more like a romantic play, and I just thought it was really enjoyable. I liked all the characters. I really liked the fact that the character's name is Hermione. You can kind of see where Hermione from Harry Potter got her name, which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this play. I think this one was really good. Next, I had to read Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie for my Victorian Child class, and I really loved this book. I thought it was really great. I had some, I've heard some mixed reviews about it. A lot of people were kind of disappointed about it, so I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the narration, and it gave me a new take on the story of Peter Pan that I was familiar with, and I just thought it was really fabulous. I did an essay on it comparing it to Alice in Wonderland, so now like I have a really, I feel like, intricate perspective on it, and it was really enjoyable to do the essay on it. I think this is a really great children's literature book. So I obviously gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This was a reread for me. I originally read this a year ago when it came out, but I completely forgot about everything that happened in it, so I decided to reread it because A Court of Mist and Fury is coming out tomorrow. Woo! So actually it'll be coming out the day of this video being uploaded, but I'm super excited for that book, and I reread this and I absolutely loved it all over again. I will be doing a review for it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but it will be coming in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I really loved this book. It's a really fabulous retelling, and I just did a recommendations video all about retellings, and this one was definitely on there because it is just so great. I love the perspective that she takes on the stories that she's retelling, and I just think this series has so much potential, and I'm really excited to see where it's gonna go. Next is Please Ignore Vera Dietz by A.S. King. I really hated this book. I just could not stand it. I gave it 1 star, and I don't often do that. I very rarely give books 1 stars, but it had very few redeeming qualities for me. I can see why people would enjoy it, but personally it fell completely flat for me. I did do a review for it, so I will link that down below and you can go and check it out. You'll get much more coherent thoughts. I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, it was just very disappointing. So those were all the books that I read in March. Now for April, the first book that I read was Cymbeline by Shakespeare. This was the last play that I had to read for my Shakespeare class, and this one was okay. I didn't really love it. I didn't really hate it. It just kind of fell in the in-between for me. I thought the concept was interesting, but I just think it wasn't really my taste of play, but it was okay. Like, I didn't hate it at all, but yeah, it was just really in between. So I give that one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I decided to start a new series, and that is the Finishing School series by Gail Carriger. So I picked up Etiquette and Espionage, and then Curtsies and Conspiracies, and I really enjoyed this series. I thought it was so much fun. It's basically these girls go to finishing school to become proper ladies, but at the same time, they're being taught how to be spies and, I can't think of the word, like assassins. It's really cool, really badass. It's really steampunky, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I love the world. I think it's super cool. cool, and these books are just so much fun. I'm not sure the order that you're supposed to read them in, because there is a, as far as the other series that she has, because there are 2 other series that she has that take place in the same world, but apparently the chronological order is this one first, so I just picked up these ones first because I had them. I don't think it really matters that much what order you read them in, but yeah, these books were tons of fun and I highly recommend them. I gave them both a 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I picked up Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. This is the first Colleen Hoover book that I have read this year. Actually, it's the first one I've read in a while. I haven't picked up any of her books in quite a bit, but I was quite disappointed by this one, to be honest. I had heard really rave reviews for this one, so I was expecting to really enjoy it, but I didn't. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I found it to be really erratic and kind of senselessly dramatic. I don't know. I had quite a few issues with it. I did a review for this one as well, so I'll link that down below so you guys can get more coherent thoughts, because I whenever I don't really like things about a book, I can't really just say them in a wrap-up. It takes way too long. So just go and check out my review, but yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. It was meh. Next, I picked up The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. Now, I had been in kind of a reading slump for quite a while before I read this book, but then I just wanted something quick and easy and kind of just mindless, and I picked up this book and it was exactly that. It was the perfect thing to get me out of my slump because I just could read it and I didn't have to think about it, and it just was so, like, it was such a relief to be able to read it, and it was just amazing. I did a review for this one as well that I'll link down below, but I thought it was a really good book. There were some things that I had issues with. I mean, it wasn't exactly the most realistic, but I liked the romance, I liked the family being brought into it. It was overall a really solid contemporary. So I gave this book a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Jenny Han's To All the Boys I've Loved Before duology. This was a reread for me. The first one, I read it a couple of years ago when it first came out, and I really liked it. And then P.S. I Still Love You I had gotten for Christmas, and I just never read it yet. So I decided to reread this one to refresh my memory, and then pick up this one. This series is just so adorable. It's quirky. It's really cute. I have reviews for both of these books that I'll link down below for you. They're just really tons of fun. If you want just a fun series where admittedly the protagonist is a little bit annoying and childish, this is the book for you. It's just really cute, romantic, all that stuff that you want. I really enjoy this series and I just think it's tons of fun and adorableness, and yeah. So I gave both of these books a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I finished my reread of The Book Thief by Markus Zuzak. I absolutely adore this story. I think it is just the most incredible book I've ever read. This is my favorite book by far, and I just think it is so fantastic and you just need to read it. I'm doing a review for it. It'll probably be going up the same day as this video, so I'll link it down below whenever it does come out, but I'm just so glad that I was able to reread this story, and I find something new that I love with every reread. Like, I find things that I forgot about that I just adore, and this book is just so fabulous and I love it so much. It's just so dear to my heart. And this obviously got a 5 out of 5 stars. If I could give it higher, I definitely would. And the last book that I read in April was Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the 3rd book in the Raven Cycle Quartet, and I read this in anticipation for the final book, which came out last week, The Raven King, which I'm currently reading. I'm not very far into it, so I don't really have any thoughts on it, but I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really great setup for the next one, but it was able to stand on its own as well, which was really nice. I find with this series, they each have their own story arc, but they also like are able to exist in the greater story arc of the series, which I think is really great. You don't have any books that are just bridge books for the next one. I loved the character development in this one. I think there was lots of that, and I just thought that the whole story was going in a really great direction, and I'm super interested to see what is going to happen in the last one, because I have no idea how this is going to end. So I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars, and I will be doing a review for it, so I will link that down below when I do it. It'll probably be coming out later in this week. So yeah, those are all of the books that I have read in the past 2 months. Let me know what you have read these past 2 months, what your thoughts were on any of these books if you've read them. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!